Hello again to another Agricultural React. Today we'll be watching inside the controversy over building one of the world's largest telescopes, beyond the Mauna, from Seeker, and this is from March 2021. I kind of remember that controversy. I don't know. I think it was about the fact that they wanted to build a telescope on the grounds of sacred lands of Polynesian people in Hawaii. So let's just get into it and see, because well, let's just watch.
On the island of Hawaii sits a dormant volcano named Mauna Kea. It's the highest point in Hawaii, and if you measure from the sea floor, it's the tallest mountain in the world. And this height, paired with a few other important elements, has made it home to numerous observatories. But this mountain isn't just a perfect place to peer deep into the vastness of our universe. It's also a very sacred place for the local native Hawaiian people, who have been protesting the construction of a newly planned telescope since the site was selected for construction in 2009. This film, from co-directors Carter Lau and Duncan Hager, as well as their team from Chapman University, looks to shed light on an important debate that may have been tragically overlooked so many times in the past: science versus culture. This is Beyond the Mauna.
Yeah, just using up people there, isn't it? Like Hawaiian people were so used. It's just...
I have no choice but to be here to defend that place that is most sacred to me, and that's the summit of Mauna Kea.
Now, construction of the 30-meter telescope is set to begin this morning on Mauna Kea, and it's being met with some big protest.
We're told there were 33 people who were arrested.
It's time for Native people to stand up for their rights.
Astronomy at its core is understanding the universe and our place in it.
My dream is to work at one of the observatories on Mauna Kea.
As a native Hawaiian, she says the telescope is part of her heritage.
There comes a time in your life where you have to stand for something.
We Hawaiians can look up at the stars and know that we are all connected.
This is an important stand. This is the last stand.
This is not a game. This is for real.
Long, long ago, when the world was new, Wakea, the Sky Father, looked down and saw the beauty of Papahanaumoku, the Earth Mother. From this love was born mountains which rose high above Papa's waves, touching the face of their father.
He placed beautiful lei of clouds on their heads, and Papa placed beautiful lei of sea foam on their necks.
Kamauna a Wakea, the mountain of Wakea, was the kupuna, or firstborn, and was held in high esteem as the piko, the center of the beginning of the Hawaii island.
Man was first introduced to the islands around 400 to 500 AD.
Groups of Polynesians from the Marquesas Islands first landed on the southern coast, Kalai, on the Big Island of Hawaii, traversing the ocean on double-hull canoes
and navigating by the only tool they needed, the stars.
The 30-meter telescope on Mauna Kea is the best instrument to answer one of humanity's biggest questions: is there life outside of Earth?
Now, construction of the 30-meter telescope is set to begin this morning on Mauna Kea, and it's being met with some big protest.
Billy Freitas and at least a dozen kupuna bound themselves together with Mailile across the base of Mauna Kea Access Road.
Continuing to follow breaking news, we're live at Mauna Kea Access Road this morning. We showed you just moments ago, live on Wake Up Today, the first kupuna being arrested.
We're told there were 33 people who were arrested. Now, they chose to be cited and then released. Today was an emotionally intense day for both sides because those who were arrested were kupuna. Officials also say it was hard for them because the officers making the arrests were taking friends and family into custody.
My name is Dr. Noinoe Wong Wilson. I'm one of the kupuna who have been residing here in the camps. The reason we've been here for 155 days is to stop the TMT trucks from going up the mountain to begin their construction project. I was arrested on July 17th along with 37 other kupuna for sitting on the road and blocking TMT trucks from going up onto the mountain. And it was painful, it was emotional, and we all cried. But they understood. They understood that this was going to be a long fight. This is a fight about our mountain and about the sacredness of it and the intrusion of the astronomy industry on our summit for the last 50 years. So there are already 13 telescope facilities, and then this 14th one is now being proposed. It's not the science that we fight, it's the size of the building and the location at the summit area, which is the most sacred part of the mountain, and that's why we sit on the road.
New perspective tonight on the controversial telescope that's gaining more and more attention. It comes from a student whose voice is now being amplified by thousands.
Mailani Neal started a petition this week in support of the telescope. Neal wants the world to know many Native Hawaiians, such as herself, support construction of the 30-meter telescope.
This petition has been going for 4 days, and we have over 2,000 signatures.
As a Native Hawaiian, she says the telescope is part of her heritage. Despite some backlash to her pro-TMT petition, Neal hopes debate over the telescope doesn't become crass or mean-spirited.
My name is Mailani Neal. I am Native Hawaiian, and I was born and raised in Kona on the Big Island. I'm currently a PhD student at New Mexico Tech, where I am studying physics and astronomy instrumentation. My ancestors navigated by the stars to travel to the unknown and discover what there is. And I think that astronomy is doing exactly that. My dream is to work at one of the observatories on Mauna Kea. I would love to be an instrumentation scientist for one of the telescopes. And eventually, someday, I would hope to be a director of one of the observatories.
I'm striving to be very understanding of all people in this situation, and I'm striving to be the best astronomer that I can be so that I can prove that, you know, us Native Hawaiians are meant to be here. We are meant to continue to follow the stars as we go further beyond our planet.
Mauna Kea is not the main issue. Mauna Kea is a symptom. And that all stems and goes back to 1893. The Hawaiian Kingdom was overthrown in 1893. First of all, we need to identify what is the Hawaiian Kingdom. Hawaii was actually part of the British Empire. Under King Kamehameha III, he achieved recognition of Great Britain of Hawaiian independence. So basically, we achieved what the American colonies achieved, an independent state. The whole purpose of the takeover by the United States was to secure Pearl Harbor. It was actually a takeover of the Queen and her cabinet, replaced her with insurgents. The narrative was businessmen took over government from natives who were unfit to govern, very racist. very racist. 5 years later, in 1898, Congress just passed a law providing for the annexation of the Hawaiian Islands. Supposedly Hawaii was annexed. The problem is, American laws have no effect beyond the borders of the United States. The United States could no more annex Hawaii by passing a law than the Congress today can pass a joint resolution annexing Mexico. And the response was, we're America. We can do whatever we want. So why is it that nobody knows that history? There's a reason. In 1895, one of the insurgents, who was a trustee of the Kamehameha schools, he stated on the record that if we are ever to have peace and annexation, the first thing to do is to obliterate the past. Obliterate the past. What does that mean?
That usually works with everyone.
That means remove any memory of the country in the minds of the people. In 1906, a formal policy of denationalization was adopted by the Territory of Hawaii Board of Education. These insurgents obliterated the national consciousness of an entire population within 3 generations. So now you take all of that and you look at Mauna Kea. People are learning the history that is getting them to make certain decisions that they wouldn't otherwise make. Mauna Kea is just part of the awakening.
Morning, Mom.
Morning, honey. What you up to today, hon?
We're gonna go stop by the East Asian Observatory and talk with Jess.
No, I can't believe she's actually gonna be there, huh?
I know, she's always traveling.
When I was going to school, the Hawaiian culture was not
prevalent.
The Hawaiian culture wasn't.
It was kind of recovering.
Recovering, maybe. It was just reviving. At that time, we weren't required to take Hawaiian language. I guess it is hard to define what Hawaiian culture is, but you know, the dance and the song and the language is something that can be kept forever, but you still have to be educated. There's a whole world out there.
Could we disagree with her?
There's a whole galaxy out there, you know.
Because the culture and the language can be exterminated as well.
You know, this is my first time seeing it, and it's pretty heavy. I'm kind of sorry, I'm kind of taking it all in. It's not what I expected, really. I honestly kind of wish that there were, I guess, more safe structures for them to be in while they are up here. Like, you know, seeing tents makes me kind of wish that there was a more comfortable situation for them up here.
That would mean that you expect them to be there forever. They want to leave as early as possible, so they're gonna be resolved to it in their way. So that's how I feel anyway about it. The fact that they have tents. They didn't plan to be there for 155 days or more.
I'm Kama Makiko Whitaker. I'm 8 years old. My name is like Kama Awakea, and it's kind of close to Mauna Awakea, and I'm like the child of the Mauna. I think that I want to protect my mom. What I learned being up on the Mauna is that how we stand strong for the Mauna and how we stand in Kapualoha. It just sends all the energy to the Mauna, and it probably makes the Mauna really happy. And I'm glad because I want her to be happy.
If it takes this kind of stand by the kupuna who are sitting on the road now, so that our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren don't have to suffer, don't have to fight to have a voice about our own land and our own sacred spaces, then we will stand here until the bitter end.
haven't been back here in a year, and it feels like I'm home.
We have Namakanui, our new instrument, coming in. So Uncle Larry named that as well.
Yes.
And so
it has 3 different receivers, right?
Yeah. So when I was describing it to him, I'm like, it can see the coldest, darkest stuff in the universe that you can't see with your eyes. And I said, I need something Hawaiian that kind of has varieties, and I need 3 of them. So he's like, oh, Namakanui, big-eyed fish. These are the ones that come out at night and they have the really big eyes because they don't need that much light to see. I'm like, well, that's just perfect. So the 3 different receivers are U'u, Aveoveo, and Alaihi.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
That's such a suiting name for the instrument.
It's perfect. So my name is Jessica Dempsey. I am the Deputy Director of the East Asian Observatory. We run the James Clerk Maxwell Telescope on Mauna Kea. So the 30-meter telescope is exactly that. It's an optical infrared telescope, and it will be about 3 times larger than the largest optical telescope, which is also currently up on Mauna Kea, which would be the Keck Observatories. The bigger a dish or a mirror, the tinier the thing you can see on the sky, the higher the resolution of the facility. The other thing is, it means you can
arms like looking like they can.
So that means you can see
transform into bigger things.
And so those 2 things take you into new realms, hoping to image exoplanets for the very first time. That may lead us to actually being able to tell whether some of those planets might be inhabitable for life. So Mauna Kea is the best site for observing the universe in the entire world at essentially every single wavelength that comes down to us from the sky. And there is a range of amazing geographical reasons why Mauna Kea is so still and the sky is so clear. Because of those reasons, it means it's perfect for astronomy. The Hawaiians were some of the best scientists on the planet. They still are. Finding the understanding of the universe in the Hawaiian creation chart, the Kumulipo, their context and understanding of the universe is mind-boggling to me. And when you start reading that, you go, there is no wonder that they read the sky like a book.
Hi, Cindy. Just wanting to let you guys know we're leaving Hilo with about 50 cars. There were a whole bunch of people who joined us along the route, and there were people waving signs when we got down to the main intersection. I know. So I just let everybody know. I was trying to let Pua know so she could announce it, but let everybody know. Okay, thank you. Okay, keep it good. Okay. Bye.
Lono ikamakaiki! Lono ikamakaiki! Lono ikamakaiki!
I want to take a picture because I know there's some people who are not going to make it all the way to Kapa'au. I tell you, this is bigger than I dreamt that it was going to be. Last night I thought we had, last night I thought we had 3 cars. This is really exciting. I wrote back, I called back to the Mauna to tell everybody that we're all here. And I know my Tita Noi is live streaming, so the rest of the community knows where we are. So mahalo everybody for coming out today.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Our community is so divided right now and so polarized. We're here in this community now. We need to find a way to change how we interact, to find a way for these things to not be on 2 different sides of a fence. Astronomers don't go into astronomy prepared to be bad guys. Not many of us were emotionally prepared to suddenly be, disliked, to suddenly be on the other side. Now having to step into a conversation from an emotional standpoint rather than something that's fact-based, which scientists are much more comfortable doing, that was something that we really needed to change in our mindset. How do we find a way forward for everybody One part of that is for some part of the astronomy community and even the existing observatories to say, we may personally not have perpetrated any of the things which have come home to roost right now, but we do now represent some of them. The thing that is really exciting to me is Mailani is a natural leader. And standing here and looking towards the future for what we have to do here on the island, Mailani, along with the young leaders and other people who are finding their voice and their feet in the adversity that's coming up in this island, they're going to be the ones who solve this.
So I've had people tell me that because of my beliefs that I am not Native Hawaiian or I don't deserve to be Native Hawaiian. But I believe that what makes me Native Hawaiian is that I am doing all that I can to perpetuate the culture and to see forth that it will be in a much better place than when I received it. I am very naively optimistic. And where I see this ending is that we find a middle ground and find a way forward for the benefit of the future generations.
I think everyone has a personal choice about whether or not they want to participate in what we're doing. I feel strongly that I have to be here. It is what everything in my life has brought me to. The day I got arrested, I just thought I had never experienced this. I imagine if they come again, it won't be much different, and it will be a frightening experience again, but we're prepared for it, if that's what it takes to protect our Mauna.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us here. We have been informed that the 30-meter telescope will not be proceeding with construction at this time, so we thought that it would be prudent to start to de-escalate and return access to Mauna Kea Access Road.
What's different today is that Mauna Kea Access Road is open. The governor expressed his disappointment that TMT will not move forward for now. TMT leaders say Mauna Kea is still their preferred site. Now the question is, will the demonstrators leave?
So all my girl nerds get one of these. You get to be either a lady nerd, you can say science will not be silenced, or you can be a STEMinist.
Ooh.
Choices, I know, pretty hard.
I'm gonna go with STEMinist.
That's my girl, I knew you would.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Ooh. And thank you so much for taking the time to see me today. And
Yeah, I'm always all yours. I hereby dub thee
a
STEMinist.
Oh man.
So my mission or vacation here is to keep the women and girls who are in STEM. You are going to be one of our leaders going forward into the future for a whole bunch of reasons, and girls need to see more women, you know, blazing a trail like you are, and that's really important.
Thank you.
We are going to change how we do science, how we connect culturally, how this community grows together, and there's nothing bad about any of that. People like Mailani, they are what get me out of bed in the morning. That's what gives me hope.
We look at the stars and it's very symbolic of our past. We can know that our ancestors are there watching us and guiding us.
The Hawaiians found us through the stars. This is what our ancestors did.
But that hurt is still there since 1893 when our queen was overthrown, and justice has never been done.
And at the same time, looking up at the stars and looking at space is extremely symbolic of the future of what is going to happen.
We need to find a way to change how we interact, to find a way for these things to not be on two different sides of a fence.
Hawaii's now worldly. It's back on the world stage.
It's time for Native people to stand up for their rights and to be counted. It's that time.
We are all unified and we are all connected. We are Native Hawaiians. We have a history together and we will continue into the future together.
Well,
I aspire to serve as an example by being afforded the opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities so that we are able to pursue our dreams.
This project is not essential to the livelihood of this community. It is not needed by the sports community and is not wanted by the people of Waimana.
We're not talking even what's happening on the Big Island itself. In fact, far from the mountain, even far from the islands, demonstrators are gathering beyond our shores.
People in Anchorage, Alaska took to the streets with signs. Many are from Hawaii, but now live in the 49th state.
Aloha to all my relatives in Hawaii. Armenian Environmental Front and Amosar Protectors stand in solidarity with the Kanaka Maoli in the struggle to stop the desecration of their ancestral lands.
We sat down with the filmmakers and asked about their local connection to the story.
Hi guys, my name is Carter Lau. I am one of the co-directors of the film Beyond the Mauna, and I am currently in Orange County, California.
I'm Duncan Hager. I'm one of the co-directors, cinematographer, and co-editors for the film, and I'm located here in Orange County, California as well.
So I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, and the Hawaiian culture and the values and morals and ideals that surrounded my home they become a big part of who I am. and a part of, you know, the kind of stories that I want to tell and create.
Yeah, and to build off of that, I remember we were brainstorming ideas within the Community Voices program. A couple years ago, I had done a short documentary on the annexation of Hawaii, and I always wanted to tell that story in kind of a more present way, involving stuff that was already kind of going on. So when Carter had, you know, approached me and we were forming groups, I immediately, you know, jumped at this idea and this storyline. I felt like there's so many different players here and so many different great themes about past and future.
Mm-hmm.
Being film students, it was a little intimidating at first, tackling such a big controversy, you know, that's kind of on a national stage, and literally spending 10 days up on the mountain and around Oahu and at different observatories, dealing with adults and, you know, facing real life issues like this. But
Wow.
I think, like everyone, we're just human, we're just people, and that's how we approached it, and we connected to all of them. That's one of the best things I think about docs, is that you're able to connect with real people and you're able to empathize right there with them, and well, I think that's what we did, and we came up with something that was, I think, very meaningful to both the subjects and to people around the world who care about this kind of stuff.
I think back to a conversation I had with one of my professors when I asked him, you know, hey, I'm young, I don't know if I'm, you know, ready to, you know, go into a class this big, you know, with all these great other filmmakers. And he told me, he said, Duncan, there's never a good time to make a film. And that's kind of been my mindset about everything. You are looking for that perfect opportunity, and it's never going to be there. If you have an idea, you just got to go and do it. I think one of the challenges we really fought was in the post-production process and in the editing. You know, we got to a point, we had about 12 different cuts of this film, and there was a midway point where we realized that we had one character on screen for probably like 65% of the film, and we weren't showing enough of the other character. And so that was one thing that's really important, kind of that, you know, unbiased thing you don't even think about. So we worked really hard to, you know, keep that intercutting of the different scenes between the different characters, you know, as consistent as possible. And I think when people are thinking and resonating and weighing two different options, I think our film's really achieving what we set out to do.
One of our goals, yeah, and what we find a lot of people, viewers who watch this film, is that after it ends, after the credits roll, a lot of people just start that conversation, and sparks the conversation about talking about both sides of the TMT controversy and what it means, you know, to protect your culture and to push forward what it means to be Hawaiian and what it means for cultures around the world. Looking back on this opportunity, I just feel so lucky that we were able to shoot this project kind of before COVID went down. And yeah, I want to thank the Dot Family Foundation and all my crewmates, Duncan, Lauren Thomason, and Ricky King, you know, for all helping me and coming together for us to create and produce this story for all of my island and for all of science and for all of, I don't know, the world to kind of see and take in. And for what's going to happen with Mauna Kea, we're not too sure yet. They're going to continue going back and forth in 2021 after COVID hopefully dies down. I just hope that when they're making the decision, they're able to look at our film and kind of see both ends and kind of, you know, take into account the important perspectives of both sides and make the best decision going forth for the future of Hawaii.
I'd like to thank the Dom Family Foundation, you know, my crew members, Sally Rubin, you know, Ricky, Carter, Lauren, you guys did such a phenomenal job. And, you know, I loved working on this team, you know, for the past year. Like Carter said, I think that this film will hopefully impact a greater audience, teach so many people not only about this social movement, but social movements in the future.
Thanks again for joining us for Seeker Indie and this presentation of Beyond the Mauna. It's stories like these that can inspire more discoveries, more adventures, and new ideas that may one day help save our planet.
So guys, what do you think? It was quite emotional to me. I'm not entirely even sure why, but I find situations like that quite making people emotional. Making me emotional anyway. And I did watch some parts. I think Johnny Harris made a very good video about the fact how America stole Hawaii. He explains a lot there as well. It's basically what they said here as well, that businesses and all that, and America just annexed just like that, because it's America, so they can, isn't it? Obviously now it wouldn't happen, but still, it's not the right thing. And like this a lady was saying there, the mother of the astronomer, that with the language and the culture can stay forever. No, it can't, because that's the easiest part that actually can be exterminated, like gone and erased from history. History can be changed if someone have power to do it. They can change the history, they can stop people from talking, using their language. So look what was happening in Poland in 19th century when Poland didn't exist and we couldn't speak our language. Or in Ireland under the British occupation, or other places under British, or other British colonies as well. So yeah, this is culture and in the memory and the history, especially after the Hawaiians, that they kind of nearly, like, it was nearly erased and they just start getting it back. It's important for them and for everyone else to actually keep it going. So it was a very good movie, very good documentary. Okay, I have to look into what happened. Did they actually cancel that telescope? Because it's last 2 years since that was released on the Seeker. Well, it was still a bit odd, isn't it? Okay. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.